Now let's look at some commonalities amongst all immigrants so that we can apply some of these principles not only to the Irish but to other immigrant groups that we'll talk about in American history. First of all, in the home country, we tend to see that severe economic conditions often exist. Also, there usually is some kind of need to find work elsewhere than the home country. There's often family separation that occurs. And the family back home is financially supported often by the members working in the United States who are sending money home to the home country. Also, in America, what we see as common trends is that many of these immigrant groups are exploited to extract their maximum work. They're often also stereotyped as ignorant and inferior, and minorities sharing low status are pitted against one another. So, for example, one minority group like African Americans were often being pitted against Irish Americans who were also taking the kinds of jobs that new freedmen in the post-Civil War era wanted. And there's also finally a need for some kind of family reunification to take place so that those who were left behind in the home country could also be brought over to America. Other commonalities amongst immigrants is that the more assimilated immigrant of the same origin expresses a disdain for the recent immigrant. So when one immigrant is newer than a more settled immigrant group, they tend to be singled out for harassment. There's also a response to the fickle need for labor in all of these decisions. In good times, immigrants are desired, but in bad times, they are often detested. For example, you will see help wanted signs with the Irish need not apply. Ultimately, at Ellis Island, Lady Liberty greeted newcomers with the phrase, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me. I lift up my lamp beside the golden door." But in bad times, they were often told by the home population in America to go back to their country of origin. And this is often the situation that Irish immigrants found themselves in. Overall, Irish immigrants did have a rough go of it, but as time goes on, they do end up becoming very successful in assimilating as the predominant majority culture over time begins to accept them more and more in comparison to other more different or seemingly different immigrant groups begin to come in on the heels of Irish immigration. So keep in mind that these trends of immigration are something that we will continue to talk about as we talk about different people groups also coming to America and what their experiences are like. We'll be able to compare them to the Irish experience.